Welcome in, everybody. It's time for Main Street Today. It's what's new at the zoo with Jim Bartoo, and I love this segment probably more than anything.
Devin, it's so good to see you. When are you coming out to see us?
I will soon. I will soon, I promise, because you have the coolest. Our zoo, the Nashville Zoo, is interactive.
Yeah.
In ways that it's just crazy. Well, let's talk about what's new at the zoo. Can I ask about the kangaroo situation out there? There's a very cool thing.
You can touch them. I mean, it's a walkthrough exhibit, so all the guests get to walk into the kangaroo kickabout. The guests have to stay on pathways. The kangaroos can go pretty much wherever they want. The really cool thing that's happening is that our females are all producing joeys right now. So we have joeys in the pouch, joeys jumping around in the yard, joeys poking out of the pouch. We have little baby kangaroos everywhere. And to see a baby kangaroo in a pouch, poking out of a pouch it's amazing. It's amazing to watch. Also, our keepers have been training the females to allow the keepers to look inside the pouch as these kangaroos develop, because kangaroos, the gestation period is really short. It's like 3 weeks or something like that. And the kangaroos are born looking like little tiny jelly beans, right? And then they crawl up the front of the mother's pouch and into the pouch. And then they finish growing basically inside the pouch. So they kind of form for the next 6 months inside the pouch. And then when they come out, they look like a cute little furry kangaroo.
That is the most amazing thing ever.
Yeah, so now people, and they'll show people, they'll say, look inside this one. This baby's probably about 2 months along or 3 months along, and you can kind of see the growth inside the pouch, because these kangaroos, and it's all voluntary. These kangaroos only do it if they want to do it. If they don't want, they just kind of leave.
Well, and I just find it amazing that you can get near the kangaroos anyway, because I went on a trip to Australia. In the wild, they're not really fond of you being around.
No, they're not. Well, in Australia, they're like deer over there.
Really?
Yeah, because over in Australia, people are like, nah, kangaroos, they're everywhere. They get in my yard, they eat my hostas, it's that kind of thing. So, over there, they're fairly common, but over here, we just find them fascinating. So, they're great to be around. Very interesting animals in the way that they develop, the way that they birth babies. A female can be pregnant or can have 3 joeys at one time. She can have one in the pouch, one outside the pouch, but is still feeding in the pouch, and then one in like stasis that they just kind of keep inside, that's been fertilized. The egg's been fertilized, but it hasn't really developed yet. They just kind of put it in this little stasis before they move it along.
Crazy.
Yeah, I know.
There's the Lorikeet Landing, which is fabulous, and kids absolutely love learning this way. Interactive learning is just incredible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Lorikeet Landing is another one. It's fantastic. You walk in, these birds will land on your hands. They'll land on your shoulders. They'll land on your head and try to make a nest out of your hair. They might grab onto your earrings if they're pretty enough. They're very curious about you. You have to love birds to go in there. So if you don't like birds, or you're not really fond of birds flying around your head, you probably don't want to go into Lorikeet Landing. Otherwise, it's a fantastic place. You can buy these little cups of nectar that they drink out of, and their tongues are like bottle brushes. So they stick these tongues out, and the nectar just kind of collects in their tongue, and then they pull it back in their mouth and drink it. Like a cat, but it's like all the way around instead of just on one side. Yeah.
Crazy.
Weird. Yeah.
Last weekend, people actually got to spend the night at the zoo, and this sold out. And I'm saying it because there's another one coming up in September in the fall.
Right.
It's called the Zoofari. It's a slumber party, or
it's just, and I think we put a lot of Z's in there for sleep. So it's like
Zoofari slumber.
Zoofari slumber. Yeah. So it's an overnight camping at the zoo. If you want to take your kids camping, but you haven't really been on like a big camping trip somewhere, or even if you have, this is a great kind of starter camp because you're in with a lot of different people. You're all kind of camping on this big field, but there's plenty of activities, tons of stuff to do. You're not going to be able to do it all in one night, so you have to kind of pick and choose what you want to do. And then you sleep overnight at the zoo, and you might hear some animal sounds. And then in the morning, you get to kind of walk around as the keepers let the animals out in the morning and feed them and that kind of stuff. A lot of the animals are fed as they're going out on exhibit or just before they go on exhibit. And a lot of times keepers will hide food around the habitats so the animals have to go look for them. And it can be a really interesting time to come out and watch the animals kind of come on exhibit.
Oh my gosh.
Some of them like run around a lot before they settle down. So yeah, it can be really exciting.
I love it. Well, if you want to go, NashvilleZoo.com to get your tickets for the September adventure, it is going to sell out. Everything is selling out right now. But let's talk about the adult adventure. Voodoo at the zoo.
It's tonight. Yeah. I'm actually get to go out later today and help set up for that. So my little realm will be up at the historic home area, which is a little more quiet than the rest of it. But it's, it's music. It's we have like 50 something different breweries that are presenting 80 something different types of beer that you can try on tap. It is sold out. So don't even think about trying to come out and get in because you won't make it. But a beautiful night. Lots of 20-somethings, 30-somethings come out to this event. Lots of music out, entertainment throughout the night. And of course, we'll have keepers out with animals on the trails, so people will be able to get a close-up look at some animals that they don't normally get to see.
Well, I tell everybody, if you have any love of the zoo like I do, you need to get on NashvilleZoo.com. Is it .org? It's .org.
Yeah.
.org. Yeah. And go, wait a minute. What did I say? NashvilleZoo.org. Look at the events tab. And if it's coming up and you have any interest at all, go ahead and get your tickets because they sell out.
Yeah. And I'll give you guys a heads up. Red, White, and Zoo tickets, which takes place at the end of July. Those are going on sale next week, like on the 9th. So if you want to get, Red, White, and Zoo is a lot like Brew at the Zoo, except it's wine instead of beer. So if you're a big wine fan, come on out to that event. We would love to have you. The event is July 30th. So mark your calendar for July 30th. Tickets go on sale on the 9th. We're also putting Sunset Safari tickets on sale on the 9th, and that's in September, and it's going to be on a Saturday this year. Usually it's on like a Thursday night. So this year we've moved it to Saturday. We expect a huge crowd. This is where we get like 50 or 60 restaurants to come out and offer up food throughout the evening. So you kind of make your way through the zoo at night and graze on different foods, open bars, lots of different samples of drinks to have, lots of entertainment around the zoo. It's our premier fundraiser that we have every year. So if you're looking for an adult, beautiful night out to see the zoo, it's both of those. Sunset Safari is a fantastic event to attend, but Red, White, and Zoo is also very, very good.
Well, before we get out of here and before we close with Brew at the Zoo from a few years past to show people what they're going to be missing if they don't go.
When you watch this, think of it with wine instead of beer, and then you get Red, White, and Zoo.
There you go. There you go. I want to ask about mask requirements. That real quick before we get out of here. There are some places inside where we still have mask requirements.
Yeah, and we get this question a lot. We do still have mask requirements for all indoor areas. So that would include the Unseen New World. The Aviary is still closed, but the Unseen New World is open. Indoor viewing like tiger and bear, we ask people to put masks on. A lot of the enclosures that are covered or within walls, we ask you to put masks on. But other than that, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask out here anymore. A lot of people ask us when we're getting rid of mask requirements altogether, and I would love to be able to tell you what date that's going to be, but I simply don't know. We're really going to kind of play it by ear. This is our first pandemic, so work with us as we work our way through this. We want to make sure everybody's safe. Bear with us, and we appreciate everybody's patience with that.
Like, bear with you. Oh, this is great. Well, thank you so much, Jim. I appreciate it. We're going to close with this little video with Brew at the Zoo. Remember, July, get your tickets starting the 9th for Red, White, and Zoo. Thank you so much. Take
Sure,
care.
yeah. Thanks for having me. We'll see y'all later.
Okay, bye.
They kind of stick their tail out.
Now, those are just a few of the places that were part of the last event we're at the zoo. So I tell you, don't miss the events. Go to the events tab, nashvillezoo.org, for all the things happening. Now we're going to talk music with one of my favorite people. Last time I saw Dale Ann Bradley, it was at a tribute show in memoriam of Earl Thomas Conley. And we had everybody. We had Luke Bryan and we had Blake Shelton. And I mean, everybody was there. Just everybody was there. And the standing ovation of the night, of the day, actually, Dale Ann Bradley walked out there with her band and they did an a cappella song, and everybody just, it's like tingles. Everybody just jumped to their feet and gave a standing ovation because she is the best. Dale Ann Bradley, how are you, sister?
Honey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing so good. And you got a brand new Pine Castle record that is out.
I do. Been out since February, I think the 5th. And I just, it was one of those COVID albums that we were in the house. So we started writing and listening to songs. And so I hope everybody's enjoying it.
You know what? You are so good. And let's give a shout out to Pine Castle, because Pine Castle is a label that preserves bluegrass, and God bless them, because they do it with such integrity.
Integrity. That's the word right there. This has been a wonderful experience working with Pine Castle, and I look forward to much more time. Knock on my table, to be able to work with them. I've so enjoyed this time.
Well, we love what you do, Dale. And tell us a little bit about what the summer is. We're getting into festival season. Are you going to get to do some festivals?
Well, we did. We just finished up at Silver Dollar City.
Oh, it's one of my favorite places.
Oh, and we had a great time. The crowds were great, and everything was just. It was like old times, but when I walked out on stage, I learned you don't take it for granted, though. I mean, don't enjoy every minute of it,
Have you noticed how different people are listening to music now that they've had it taken away?
I think so. And I think the subject matters and the content of the song may be more important than it's been in years. That was true during the Depression times. Music was like water to people, and then in the 60s too, turbulent times makes you hopefully makes us stop and listen a little little more closely to the words and what they mean.
Amen. Have you had people, I don't know, it's been very emotional as I see people get back on stage. Their fans are emotional, and it's an interesting feeling when you get out there and they feel like you're just like water to a person who's starving.
Right. That's the way I felt this past weekend from the stage on our side and from the audience. And I just did not realize. I knew I missed everything, but don't know how much till we, the sets were over and the folks were coming up, and I just grabbed a person and hugged them and started crying. And I don't know, I didn't even know that person. But
That is definitely what happens. I mean, we get so caught up in the moment. Well, let me tell people about this album that's been out since February, but I always say because of COVID, not everybody knows. So everything's new for everybody. People have been in a fog. So tell people about this new album.
That's so true. This album started writing it right as everything began to shut down, and as the year progressed and we saw more things happening, that were distressing actually.
Mm-hmm.
And then some good things too. You saw a lot of people getting out there and going beyond the call to help somebody. So you saw both sides of it. That kind of sparked the whole collection, I think. This album started with the title cut, Things She Couldn't Get Over. And that was,
Wow.
Even though it was something I had remembered from my high school years, the older I've gotten and the more I've traveled and seen a lot of things, it's a worldwide, problem, or what the song talks about, needs to be dealt with. So then, came another idea and another song, and went through several and tried to write some. I've got some that I didn't finish for this one, but I've learned that songs do that, if don't push them, because if there's usually a message that needs to come out if you just kind of, take care of it and just let it sit till it's ready, But this album too, I used my touring band on this album and with some guests. Ethan Burkhart was on bass. He's the CEO of Pine Castle.
Oh,
Records.
wow.
Yeah, and he's in the band. And of course, I've got what I call the Prince of Dobro. That's Matt Ledbetter. He's got famous ancestors, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
And then Kim Fox is playing guitar and singing all the pretty harmony on the album and on stage. And it's such a joy to work with her. Mike Sumner is on banjo. And I've always thought that we connected spiritually and musically. You meet people like that they hear the notes the way you do, and that's a blessing when that happens. Then we had guests on the album. We had Ronnie Bowman came in and sang some harmony. Yeah. How can you go wrong there?
You can't.
You can't. I know. Michael Cleveland put all the fiddle on, and then Aaron Biebelhauser co-wrote some stuff with me and put some harmony on. So everybody gave everything they had, I think, to this album because, it's our album. The band and myself. It's not just about me, thank heavens.
Oh, girl. I mean, it is so fantastic. And the harmonies are so tight and so beautiful. And there are people who don't know bluegrass that I know were sitting in that audience at the Country Music Hall of Fame when you guys went out. And it's something that is so pure. When y'all sing it, it's so pure that people respond from somewhere inside that they don't even, what is this? I don't even know what this is.
Well, bless your heart. That will be right up there with the top of my memories. I'll tell you, I knew where I was at and I was so nervous, but it's good to get nervous. And I was so proud of the band and everything, and thankful for the reception that we got. That was sweet and precious. I got to see some people I wasn't going to get to see otherwise.
Oh, I know. Neil McCoy was there, and John Anderson was there, and just a host of wonderful stars. But I laughed because Bill Cody and I co-hosted, and Cody looked over at me, and y'all were walking out. He said, "Something's about to happen." I said, "Yeah, something's about to happen," because we knew. Bill and I knew.
Sweet.
We knew something's going to happen. Well, something's going to happen now because we're going to say goodbye to you by playing your brand new video. Is that okay?
Oh, honey, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you and everybody listening, and God bless y'all.
Oh, talk to you soon. Love you.
Thank you, honey. Love you, sweetie. Bye-bye, honey.
Bye.
Standing in the silent hall, waiting for the final call. Says he doesn't love me anymore. Shaking hands, I pack a bag. Trembling voice, I call a cab. Slowly, I start walking to the door. The cab arrives, blows his horn, stumble in the early morn. Tell him of the place I've got to go. Past 100 signal lights, I paid the bills and a traffic fine. Getting through these doors has been so slow. LA International Airport, where the big jet engines roar. LA International Airport, I won't see him anymore. Stood us in a miniskirt, a hippie in a leather shirt, started on the way to Naples Road. While I'm wondering where it's at, I see a Paris diplomat. College kids are trying to get back home. Baggage car goes quickly by, see my case and start to cry. Stumble to the lounge to be alone. While I'm trying to get some rest, I bite my lip and try my best to fight the pain that's making me leave home. LA International Airport, where the big jet engines roar. LA International Airport, I won't see him anymore. Across the sky, paper trails and wave goodbye to those below who've got to stay at home. Wish that I had flown at night so I could take that champagne flight, rid myself of every tear I own. Soaring high above the heavens in a 747, fighting back the tears that curse my eyes. Captain's voice so loud and clear amplifies into my ear, assuring me I'm flying friendly skies. LA International Airport, where the big jet engines roar. LA International Airport, I won't see him anymore. LA International Airport, I won't see him anymore.
I love Dale Ann Bradley and her band more than Lunch and Jewelry. I'm just going to tell you, she is the stuff, and that voice is so pure. She always makes me cry when I hear good bluegrass. I'm like the weird uber fan of bluegrass, and I hear it, and it's so pure, and it's so effortless, but it's not effortless. The way that bluegrassers play, it's unbelievable. And it's the same feeling I got when I got to go to Ireland and I watched these people play. So, by the way, speaking of great players, Shane Hennessy is an amazing Irish picker. And you can see him today by going to his Facebook page at 4:00 Central Time for a live. He's going to be on Facebook. He's going to be on YouTube. He's going to be on Instagram. But he said that probably Shane said that his quality would be the best on Facebook. So go to Shane Hennessy. He's one of the best guitar players I've ever seen, ever. So go see him and you'll enjoy it today, 4:00. And I have this little writing app, and it connects you with co-writers. It's kind of like Bumble for songwriters. And I got to write I had the great joy of writing with a young lady. And I'm blown away when I get really mad when they say, oh, there's no good music coming out of Nashville. I see it every day. There's somebody coming here with a dream, with a new song. And I cannot wait for you to hear the voice of this young lady. Her name is Sarah Harralson, and she joins us for a special day. Hi, love.
Hi, Devin. How are you? It's good to see you.
It's so good to see you too. And this is a special day because you've got a new single.
I do. My new single, The Chance, is out today.
Well, the last video I saw of yours was Frosty, I think, was the last one. And it was kind of Christmas and kind of, it was big, a whole big idea. Of a woman that you run into, and I loved the whole idea. It was the freshest idea that I'd heard in a long time, and I just loved it. And your voice is really, really interesting because it's not what I would call typically a country voice, but it's very, very unique and fresh and different. So I cannot wait for people to hear you because it's you don't really fit in the Americana. And do you think that you go kind of more like country and toward the pop side of what country is doing?
I always classify my music as country, but it definitely has, a hint of folk and sometimes pop. I've had people say, oh, you sound a little bit folk or you sound a little bit, soulful for country.
Now, where are you from?
I'm from Knoxville originally.
So you grew up there in that side. Did you go to school at UT?
No, I went to school at Belmont. So I left Knoxville right after I graduated college to pursue music.
And you work full time in the music industry. But where can people see you live? That's the thing that I love because you're always out playing. Now you're always out playing.
Yes, it feels so good to be back out and playing again. My residency is starting again at the Hutton Hotel if you want to see me in Nashville. And then I always have my other dates on my website. I recently played in Kentucky and usually playing in other states too. So you can check out all my shows on my website.
There's one. Now, there are a lot of great shows in Nashville. That Whiskey Jam is one, and Freak Show is another over at the local. And there was another one, and help me with this one because you just played it. Is it Bus Stop?
Oh, I played Bus Call. Yes, that's
Bus Call.
Yeah.
At Tin Roof. That's another one. And I encourage anybody who's coming to Nashville to check out some of those shows around because that's where your locals, that's where you're going to see the stars of tomorrow that are coming into town. And the music is fantastic.
Oh, yeah. There's so many good local independent artists to check out always.
Well, Sarah, when does your single come out? Is it tonight at midnight or was it last night at midnight?
Yeah, so it was last night at midnight. So it's out now for everyone to hear on any listening platform.
Well, we're going to give it a spin here for the very first time and say goodbye to you. And thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me, Devin. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you too.
Your part-time job at the Texaco. Pull some cash from your stash, go to Mexico. Fall in love like you were 16. You still can't buy a time machine. Get some fresh cut flowers for your mom. Better yet, tell her thanks for all she's done. Give an old friend a call instead of a text. Never know these days what's coming next. Time flies, a year's like a minute. Hold tight, blink and you'll miss it. Grab a drink, have a laugh, and dance every dance. Some people never get the chance. On the couch if you have a fight. If they're wrong, it's okay, try to make it right. Don't choke on I love you, say it out loud. It's okay to go there and be here right now. Time flies, a year's like a minute. Hold tight, blink and you'll miss it. Grab a drink, have a laugh, and dance every never get the chance.
Woo! Man, I tell you what, blink and you'll miss it. That is a great song. Sarah Harralson, and how you spell her name is important. Harralson. Follow Sarah Harralson everywhere that her music is, and follow her on Instagram, and follow her live feeds too. They're really good. That album, that song just came out today, so you can download it wherever you get your great music, because that is a great song. It's just powerful. Closing, we're going to talk about Backstage Nashville. I will be there tomorrow, 12:30, 3rd and Lindsley. Doors open now at 11:15. You can get your drinks, you can get your lunch, and you can see a great show. The tickets are only $10. Very, very easy. They're almost up to full capacity based on whether they can get people to all the staff that they need for all of it to happen. I tell you, that's the number one problem in pretty much our country, but around Nashville, that's based in tourism, getting people that can be servers. So if you need a job, there are a lot of them, and we need you. But we're going to close with a group. I don't know if you know Brassfield. They've got a big show coming up. They always do it during CMA Music Fest. It is always at the Opry Backstage Grill, where they had a residency over in the Music Valley Drive area. We're going to close with Brassfield. They are the discovery artist on Backstage Nashville tomorrow. So I hope I get to see you. I hope you are there. That show is sponsored by Spontaneous, a fabulous board game. And remember, be safe, be kind. Remember, most of all, you are loved. Have a nice weekend.
Jet planes in the sky, summer coming, summer saying goodbye. On the road, hearts are honking. Downtown, there's people honky-tonkin'. Ooh, it's a busy world. Ooh, yeah, there's no place I'd rather be, girl, than sitting on a rock down by the river, my feet in the water with you. Sitting on a rock down by the river with my feet in the water with you, yeah, yeah. We kiss, boats roll, a fish chopper putting on a show, making ripples in the water. The sun's going down, but it keeps getting hotter. Ooh, yeah, baby. Kiss me one more time. Ooh, yeah, it's all good as long as I'm sitting on a rock down by the river, my feet in the water with you. I'm sitting on a rock down by the river with my feet in the water with you. Well, now nobody knows where it is we go to get our toes in the wet. Just the stars and the crickets, and baby, that's a ticket to a night we won't forget. Whoa, whoa. Yeah, I'm sitting on a rock down by the river, my feet in the water with you. I'm sitting on a rock down by the river with my feet in the water with you. Well, I'm just sitting on a rock down by the river, my feet in the water with you. I'm sitting on a rock down by the river with my feet in the water with you. Well, I'm just sitting on a rock down by the river.